right?
Yeah, I don't want it to like block other things that are like useful. Okay. Let's get it. Wait, I need to turn off this music. What the fuck? Okay. In the middle of the screen? Yeah, okay, that's not happening.
Hog placement.
Yep, just right in the middle. That's all you guys get
Top
to see.
500. Top 500 webcam.
Yeah.
We have 2 off support.
Wait, what do we do?
I don't think the frames drop too bad in this video.
Okay. I want
Might
to
be
see
since
what
I
your.
just started recording it.
I want to see what your team comp. God damn it. Okay. All right. All right. So starting off, what do you think your job is for like this team comp? Like, what should you be doing, or what should you be looking to do?
Creating space so my DPS can take distance and create plays. Right?
Like that's like the easy answer. So
The easy
okay,
answer.
that's like the okay. So based on what DPS you have, like where do you want to like be trying positioned or whatever? Or what are you trying to do with your DPS?
I guess looking at the comp now and not remembering what I did in the VOD, I would.
It should be the same. That's what you should be doing. When you're pressing tab like this is what you should be doing. You should be like, all right, thinking about, okay, looking at my team comp, what are like, how am I gonna win the first engagement? That's what you should always be thinking about.
I think what I do is a soft engagement, and then I take high ground on the little pillar thing. You know what I'm talking about, in the middle of the map, on top of the health pack.
Okay.
I just try to avoid taking damage, hopefully. If not, then I'm rotating around on the higher pillar part. I don't know what the call out is for that.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Alright, testing a main. Great pick. Moira on right. Doom diving. Where's Doom at? Nice.
Okay. Okay, so the first thing is, okay, so you got the pick and you did the dive onto the Moira.
Right?
Yeah.
Doom diving.
Okay, so what you should do is you should say like Moira no fade, because now it's easy kill. So going back here, you should have just like, you're taking the fight to point anyways. So you should have just followed in, like you should have called like, hey, Moira no fade, and then get on Moira, because if you can get the Moira, because she's the only support that's left, because you killed Alicia early, then it's pretty much going to be like a one fight, like no matter what. So there's no really reason for you to kite back here, or like just kite back here, like because you're taking the fight to point anyways. Like that's where I think your other DPS or whoever's down here, that's where you're like heading off to. So it's more as like user fade onto point. That's where you should be taking the fight to point anyways, and then you just call that, follow up, like tell everybody to like get onto the Moira, then you kill her, then you pretty much win. There's no real reason to back up and come back here, because you're just like wasting time doing nothing.
Okay.
Where's Doom? Nice. Moira main. No dash.
I think my
McCree behind up top. Zarya can die. Chasing that kill. Zarya's one. No personal.
Okay. All right. So why'd you jump this? What's your thought process about it?
Because I know that Doom doesn't have punch, and if he got out that far, I would have thought he didn't have any cooldowns, so I could at least take some poke damage and push them back, at least a little bit more.
So do you think this is a good jump?
No.
Okay, why?
I guess at the time, I was just kind of like kill thirsty, trying to like nab some damage in. Well, it's a bad jump for starters. I didn't call that I'm jumping on them. I don't think.
Yeah.
I didn't have bubble to kite McCree's damage or Doom's left clicks. onto it, so I'm not feeding them ult charge at the same time.
Yep. And what else? What's like the most number one thing?
I don't have jump out when I could have.
Where are your healers at?
They are
do you
walking
think,
up the stairs.
So
out of my LOS.
Yeah. So you think they can see you when you go this far? So you get you get stunned or whatever,
Yeah,
and then your Genji just died as well. So
Yeah.
you pretty much have no follow up whatsoever. So like pushing up here, like yeah, you see like targets or something, but then you cap the point anyways. So you just there's no real you saw you're down at DPS. You're pushing you don't need it to push into their spawn every time. Like you can just go up, take your next setup on your next location or whatever. Because now that you're kind of overextended, you against like a better team, you're probably gonna get capitalized and killed because their spawns are so close that they probably respawned already. So it's gonna be like a 1v, maybe like 3 or 4.
So instead of pushing the DPS, should I have gone top left? Since just
you can just since you're once you figure out Genji's dead, like your healers are like not really like with you or in line of sight, you can just either jump to like the top of like this while you're waiting or something for the next like engagement, because since they're on Doom and McCree, you can probably drop down for free, and then that's when you can look for you can call the engagement and just drop down on top of the other supports, drop down on McCree or whatever, and you're taking no damage being out like the way top spot that's up here.
Okay.
Because you can just use that little box as like cover and still see everything. So we'll see what happens, but if you don't die, I'll be amazed.
Do you know cooldowns?
I don't.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this is a good spot where you'd want to where you can be.
McCree caught out by
I was just getting hit by Ash there, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, that's fine. You called out the McCree, so that's good.
Doom on point, discorded. Top. Lucio's one. Can we kill Zarya? No personal? This.
Okay.
I didn't want to push that.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing is that's why I see. Okay, so what was your reasoning behind? Cause I'm seeing this a lot now. What's the reason behind using like that bubble? Yeah.
I thought small brain masters. I thought if I put the bubble over me, it would just kind of like come down, and then I could just back up and not like really engage and just let my cooldowns recharge. So I figured as I was backing up or as people pushing up, they could use a bubble to absorb some damage, get some free value.
Because what I'm seeing is every single time you use your jump right after, you're just pressing the bubble button. Almost every single time. Every time you jump, you don't need to press the bubble button. You can like wait and see if you're going to be taking damage, because sometimes you might jump but you don't really need it, so then you just have to like refrain from getting like in that habit of just like pressing bubble all the time, because then you can use it for like the next jump, either for like a hard engage or you can use it for like a disengage or something like that, because right now you aren't really taking any damage, so there's not really a point. You could save the bubble, and if you are taking damage you can just drop it like later on or whatever, because you're pretty much full HP, your healer's right behind you, you're not probably going to drop like low or anything like that, so you could like have saved it to go somewhere else. So just like think about like before you use the bubble, like okay, is there a reason why? Like am I really doing like anything with it?
It's just kind of like just throwing a sleep dart at the wall, I guess. Makes sense.
Hammond top. Come on, Hammond. He's one. I'm chasing that. Yeah.
I think here I just kind of like kite the corner, expecting the Doom for some reason to just kind of like push in, because I've seen.
Nice pick.
You're just walking out and dying.
I've seen it happen, man.
Okay. Do you think that, okay, so why are you positioned here at this corner?
To kind of get some spread damage in, but I should be positioned on top again, or at least in a way where I'm not taking damage, where I could drop on them instead of kind of overextending, playing Reinhardt here as a Winston.
Yeah, like if you
this is a bad position for Reinhardt.
Yeah, like for right now you're playing really close on this corner. Like you can either be like flanked from that other side, or like here, and you're pretty much just going to take unnecessary damage because they can just walk down and start zapping you, right? So if you wanted to be on this like a flank play, then you could just be like over here, wait for them to push in, and then you can get on their back because you have your primal rage. So every time you have your primal, you can look to do aggressive plays like this, but you shouldn't just be standing out in the open like this. You could, you know, it's better to be either be on a top spot or hiding, and then, but you have to be communicating that to your team, right? So either be on the top of spot and then like be communicating like a dive, or be like go their back line now that you have primal and you just won the fight, and then wait for them to push up, and you can say, hey, I'm going to go whatever deep on or something because I have primal, and then you can just make a play with your primal instead of using it like reactively or anything. Because being here, you're probably just going to get like poked out, or you might have to use primal because you get low, because you get like stunned or something, which is like almost a waste, because then they're expecting you to do that.
Yeah, it's a free primal. Yeah.
Sorry, no personal. Hold on. I'm not full committing to this just yet. Full commit.
Zarya's in trance. I guess you just gotta go.
Zarya? Can we kill Zarya?
Yeah, get Zarya.
Yeah, might as well, right? I guess you were just kind of holding his spawn for a bit.
Yeah, so nothing.
Yeah, not really. I think we got like one sort of a fight here, and then we win. I don't think they touch the map at all. But this next part with Reinhardt, there's a lot of mistakes that I've noticed. A lot of like bad pins or bad times to shatter, stuff like that.
So why'd you bubble here?
Just because I had it, pretty much. There's really no reason for using it. I took a little bit of damage, and instead of just moving away from the damage, I just kind of wasted my resources. Yeah,
so you should be paying like a lot more attention, because it's a reoccurring thing now that like that seems like you're just using bubble whenever you have it, and bubble is like one of Winston's most like more important abilities, because it lets you like do those engages or protect you from some big ultimate or like blocking like diva bomb, shatters, and all that stuff. So always like make sure that you use that with like a purpose, not just
whenever there's a far around. And I'm not shitting you, I've done this a couple of times. Whenever there's a far around, I know she has barrage, I'll save bubble for that. That's always a fun one to cock block.
Yeah, it's always a feels good moment whenever that happens.
Oh, for sure. I don't think too much happens here.
Yeah,
but yeah, I figured there.
A punch. Here, let's not.
Figure there's some
into this.
mistakes here.
Get out if we can. Get out if we can. Get out if we can. All right, I got primal here. All right, we go in. Go in.
Use it.
Oh, you need to see use primal. But yeah, okay. So back to the other thing, like you could keep whatever, like holding up the spawn doors, like you ended up losing like diva mech, and it's just like you can be like the team leader to tell your team to like kite back and then just look for engages, because like right now you're just punishing basically like this team that you're facing is like, I don't know, it doesn't know what they're doing, but like you're not going to get away with this all the time, so it's kind of like starts kind of bad habits. So even in like the comms, you can be like, hey, fall back and then like reset like top or something, like just tell your team like where you guys should be like setting up and stuff, and then just make a play and then start like going forward, and then then it minimizes all the chances of losing mistakes or your teammates like being stupid or something. So you have to figure that they're just always dumb.
The thing is with Winston as well is I started playing this around season 8, so like I wasn't really here when the dive meta was around, or at least when I was playing in season 8, I was like low gold, and then I got the plat or whatever, so I didn't see too much of that coordinated play really.
Okay.
But so when it comes to like map theory, I'm not 100% on it. That's why I asked you that question once upon a time, like how would I set up an attack dive on Gibraltar? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really fully understand the idea of dive other than everybody just dogpile on someone. Like how should I set up my diva? How would I set up?
Okay, yeah. So pretty much like whenever you win a fight, you always want to try like a good rule of thumb is just resetting on high ground, like above like a choke point, so where they're gonna go. So like this map is like perfect for Winston because there's that choke point right above here, and then they have to come through either this choke or the other side, and you can pretty much just rotate if they don't go, but a lot of teams just come through the middle, so it lets you just drop down and then get the engagement. You can be like over here on this side, you can drop down and get on like the supports and stuff. So
But I want to drop behind them or like in front of them.
it's either it's whichever one you're communicating. So like, okay, so based on, this is why I like Overwatch is so versatile. So it's based on like ultimates, so you can see, okay, if they have like nano or something, okay, of course you're going to try and, you know, drop on the supports or something. Or if they, you know, they have like grab or shatter, you might try and put a bubble, and or if you get a purple on like Ryan or something, you're going to put a bubble around Ryan and then try and focus on so you can't get heals, or Zarya if they have grab or something. So it's like different every single fight. So you said they communicate either dropping like behind them, getting on the supports, or, you know, if something happens in the front line that somebody gets slow, then you're going to be dropping in the middle and putting a bubble in between, like, you know, the healers and the tanks, and then you're going to try and focus the tanks or something. So it's all dependent on like what ults are used, like what your like plan is going into the fight. So that's why like pre-fight planning and stuff is super important.
Okay. That's
But
fair.
just a good rule of thumb is just, you know, resetting like above like a choke point where they're going to be like pushing through, and then, you know, you can just make a plan from like then on. Or if you're going to be like setting up the dive, then it's just for the fight, like walking back, okay, scout like a little bit, and then you can be like, okay, we're jumping like on a right side or left side or a little bit. Like you don't have to rush anything, like you want to wait until you see somebody, so then you know your jump is gonna like land and everybody's gonna be able to follow up on you.
Okay, yeah, all right, that makes sense. Like my counter dive is fine. I understand how counter dive works. It's like the aggressing, you know, especially against pocketed widows and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That a pocketed widow and is just so hard to take down.
Yep. So always need those
All right,
teammates.
I got Primal here. All right, we go in.
Nice job.
Shout out to Cray! Exclamation mark. Now here, there's a lot of plays that I've noticed that were generally pretty shitty.
All right, let's see. Do you use Winston on this map as well?
Oh, I go Ryan.
Okay.
And this is the hero I have the most hours on, like by far.
Okay, so why did you choose Ryan?
Because for me, I've had more luck running Ryan here. When fighting, I like holding them at their choke on top. That's like my favorite place to hold instead of like spreading out with dive.
Okay.
I just feel like smaller chokes and like more. It's just more brawly, and I feel like I get more value out of playing Reinhardt. Personally.
Did you like tell your team or ask your team to like either go Zarya?
Yeah.
Does he end up switching?
Yeah, he goes Zarya.
Okay.
Or he went Road Dogg. He eventually goes Zarya. Promise.
Oh, he's just trying to find the hero right now.
Zoom on right. Just gonna try to punch her. No punch. Sorry, no friend.
Okay, so on your against you, like for your team comp right now, how do you think you're gonna win? Like, what's your like win condition? Like, how are you gonna start up with like whatever this fight? Because one, you don't have a Zarya. You have to think you have the Hog, and you have a Genji Ashe for DPS. So what do you think your plan of attack is here?
For my role, it would be to try to create space safely in a way. So creating space while Doom isn't about to like one combo hit my supports, or being able to set my Ashe up to get that crucial pick for us to be a little bit more aggressive here. Or I don't see the Ryan Zarya. I'm assuming he has one, but we could kite out Zarya's resources, her bubbles, and either focus down the Reinhardt or focus down the Zarya, one of the tanks.
Because especially if you're not running like the Zarya, running out like if you're having a Hog, then it's something you need to be like aware of. Because if they're on like the Ryan Zarya, they can punish you really easily, and like it's gonna be hard for you to like whatever do much. So you have to like know which play style you have to do. So either you have to wait for them to do like the bubbles, and then you can look for like a hard engage them because
like a hook.
yeah, because they can like stop if you try and go for a pin. They can just bubble it. They can just bubble their Rhine and they can swing onto you, and you can't really do anything. So it's like dependent on what you see in the front and then what you have. You have to try and like change your play style up a little bit.
Okay.
So we'll see like how this works out, and then
Doom on right. Just gonna try to punch her. No punch, no punch.
so going to the left side's fine.
Sorry, no friendly. Counterpinning right.
Yep.
That's fine. Counterpin. You're gonna die anyway, so it's kind of just like had to have been done. Okay, so we'll go back to this thing. Why would going up the left side? Why'd you go up the left side opposed to going through the right side? What was your reasoning for that side?
Because that's just traditionally where I go. I mean, it's not really. I guess I didn't really plan out like the forethought of attack. It's just that's where I traditionally just kind of go. You know what I'm saying? And then I look for openings and just try to mechanically or outplay the other Rhine. Like just build up my shatters quickly as possible and just fucking go flop them. You know?
So why would going left side be worse? So like you can't just always go to the
Zarya. Because we have a feed hog. And,
and what else?
I can't when I swing, I'm taking damage. I can't really build up ult as easier or as fast.
Yeah.
Also, I think I'm not sure how our Ana died because I wasn't looking at her, but I'm pretty sure Doom just came around from the left and just eat on her.
Yeah. So like.
So I couldn't really protect her that way.
Yeah. So like depending on like what team comp you have, like you can go like different spots. Since you have like the Genji and an Ashe, it might have been better for you to go like the right side because it's more open. Because if you like while you're pushing through the left side, Ashe has 0 sight lines. There's like that narrow little side, right? So pushing on the other, I don't know if I can even like see it. Okay, here we go. So like pushing over here, what's Ashe really gonna be able to see? She can see right through these little things. So either you have to push forward up, so then she has all this space, but you don't have the Zarya, so you can't even really push up. So you want to try and fight in like an open area, so then like Ashe can whatever get value, Hawk can try and get a hook from somebody, and then you have like the Genji to do something. So it's either it probably would have been better just to take the fight over on like this other side based on what team comp. So like you depending on what your team comp is where you need to change going like Genji. You can't just always go to the same side just because it's like where you're most comfortable on. It's dependent on like what team comp it is. That's why you always want to hit tab, look at the team comp. Okay, so what, based on what heroes I have, where do you think I should be like positioning, or where is it gonna make us have like the best advantage or whatever?
Now with a comp like this, I wouldn't want to go to point though, right? But taking the fight from the right side would be better.
I mean, honestly, you can take the fight. Your Ashe will have like whatever high ground. You can try and fight in like that right side as you're coming. So it's like it's like an open area like right here, because then Ashe can play over on like the right side and still be shooting down like for free.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you taking the fight on that like this right side edge, and then Ashe would be
like
over.
Bridge,
yeah, on
okay.
like close over here. So then Ashe would be on the bridge, being like like shooting wherever, because if you rotate that side, that's probably where she's gonna be like rotating, or you like letting your team know like that's where she'll be doing. So then she's pretty much free, and then your Hog can either be with you, he could even go around like this side, look for a hook while you're getting like pocketed or something.
Okay.
So just it's going through here, it doesn't really benefit you for doing anything just because of your team comp.
All right.
Yo, thanks for the host, Frumps, appreciate it, my dude. Situation what's going on. I'm doing a VOD review.
This was a really bad mistake here. I should not have done this. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, it was dumb. But
just do that.
Shatter at it. Yeah.
Just that in charge right from the beginning.
This is one of the mistakes. I was like, wait, why did I do that? It's just stupid. That I asked for no Winston, and I think this is where he goes Zarya here.
We're in it. We have to push now. Do no punch. I'm pushing up on Zarya. Please, can we kill Zarya?
Didn't have pin for that.
Yeah.
Zarya, please. She's caught out. High energy. Half.
Get it.
Okay. So with this call, what do you think you should have done differently?
Can I rewatch
Sorry?
that one little
Yeah.
second?
Please. She's caught out. High energy.
I
Half.
probably should have
Do you think your team knows, like,
known
some
where I
people-
am. No.
yeah, like where,
Um,
I know some people know where you are, but it's just like, hey, like, kill Zarya, please, and it's like your team, you know, your DPS
yeah,
is, you know, down here.
I called out to kill the Zarya, but they don't necessarily know where she is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so just being like, you know, Zarya top or something like that, just giving location
Like
every
Zarya
time where she
drops.
is.
Zarya dropped a point or something.
Yeah. Just saying those like little tiny location calls and stuff with every time you want a target killed, and they'll just make sure that people understand like where they need to be like looking to.
It's weird
Whatever,
because I
kill.
think I do that. I remember myself doing that,
You did a couple times.
but
You-
then it's like I'm not doing it consistently.
Yeah.
You know? No, it should be all the time, not
Yep.
just sometimes.
Zarya, please. She's caught out. High energy. Half.
Get it.
I think I die here. Yeah.
We're not playing together.
Another thing is, especially when
Zarya.
you're
please.
doing this,
She's
I know
caught
you're
out. High energy.
like focusing
Half.
Zarya, and then okay, so now you're just dropping down.
Yeah.
With
and
you see, like-
pocketing a Zarya and leaving my team by myself.
Yeah, like you didn't let your team know that you're dropping. So pretty much as Ryan, you have to think of yourself as like the team leader, right? So you're just like, you see the Zarya, you're wanting Zarya killed, but so you didn't let your team know where like Zarya is, or you didn't let your team know that you're dropping to point. So you didn't say, hey, I'm taking the fight to point, I'm dropping point right now. So then everybody knows, okay, we can go to the point and start whatever, taking like the fight to point. So pretty much you just drop by yourself, and then you just get gangbanged because, you know, your Zarya comes late, you know, down the steps, and then your supports are, you know, still up top.
Yeah.
So then just like saying, hey, can we go to point, and then having people be like, okay, yes, and then dropping. So you don't have, like, you could just waited like, you know, a half a second or something, a second waiting for your team to like respond and then drop, not just, you know, going forward and then expecting your team to be there, because you can't always expect your team to be there. You always, like, it's better just to like wait for like a confirmation before you do it.
Yeah, that's completely fair. It's just that hard focus mentality.
Yeah,
That's the
tunnel
type
vision.
of stuff I was like, yeah, that's like the stuff I was messaging you about. It's just like the communication aspect of like what I'm doing, because I understand that main tanking is that leader role, like the shot calling. Like that's why I try talking as much as possible. I just want to figure out the right way of talking, the right way of doing things.
Yeah.
Half.
Get it.
We're not playing together.
Next thing, you just wasted ults and stuff. Just unfortunate.
Unlucky. Shit happens.
No. Educational stream, Bog chat.
Yeah, I've been fucking sucking.
Okay, because even for like this, you push up the left side, but you aren't like telling your team, okay, let's push from left side, or, you know, something. You can like let your team know that you want to like push from left side, and then you can like say regroup left side, or, you know, regroup for like right side. So even those small things is, even as you like pushed up, you didn't even like mention that you wanted to go this way. You kind of just like walk this way. So even if you want to, like, you can't just expect the team, you know, to like, no, they'll just be like, okay, hey,
Should I always call going left?
yeah, just always say, just be like, hey, let's regroup left side. Yeah, even like if you're on spawn, okay, let's regroup and go left side. Just, you know, just like a simple call like that, and it's just makes it so that everybody is like knowing on the same page. Or if you miss somebody like dying, they're like, okay, I'm still in spawn, because I think somebody else was respawning, and it was like you, Ash, and somebody else, and then I think your Doom or somebody was already like still dead, so he wasn't even there for this engagement. So it's just doing that call, and then somebody would be like, okay, yeah, I'm still in spawn or something. So then you just wait for them to regroup, and then you can push out together.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's 100% fair. Another bad pin. This pin was really bad too.
Yeah, your team was dead.
Yeah, it was literally
I was
just
gonna
like
go
kill
for
me
holding
quick.
them in your spawn to vice versa. I'm pinning this. Give me bubble.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Get Zarya.
Yeah, I got him. On point.
Good shit, guys.
Kind of got lucky that you're
Where,
Ash
Yeah.
killed like everybody.
He's out.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna hold him top
especially
right. Vice versa.
okay, I don't know.
this.
Does he? Okay. So before the Ryan and the Lucio and you're like Ash like fragged out, you're just like, I'm pinning this, so why is this a bad pin?
Well, I'm not really pinning anything, I guess. The reason why I don't know why it's necessarily a terrible pin compared to the other like two, but the reasoning for it was I'm trying to push up, get in front of my team so they're not taking damage, and I could, I don't know, just generally take space and catch up with the enemy because I know that they're down a lot, and I know I can overpower them with Reinhardt.
Okay. So if they would have been dead before you did the pin, then I would think that. Okay, so charging up like this, if these people wouldn't have died, then you're pretty much just charging in. You're gonna be in front of like their whole team. You're gonna either hit a wall or you're just gonna, if you charge up forward, you might hit somebody. But then
is that not what happened?
They're like, no, these people died after like a little bit after you,
okay.
as before you even started your pin. But it's like it's just gonna put you in like a position like it would have been better just you could just start like whatever, like walking up like with your shield or even pinned at like the corner and then have the shield to start pushing up, and then if you once you see them get the picks, then you can go for like a pin just to like go aggressive if you still have it up or something, because doing like an aggressive pin just out of spawn, one, you can't put your shield up or anything, so then you have run the risk of getting stunned, all this damage putting into you before you even stop the pin, because you can't stop it whenever you want, and then you might end up going too far into like the mid team if you can't stop on a wall because you like slide off of it or something.
Okay.
Give me bubble.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
But yeah, it just ends up like
Zarya.
hard
Yeah, I got it.
fragging.
On point.
Oh yeah.
Good shit, guys.
Shout out to Lil Pete.
Moira
My boy.
is gonna try to contest, but she's out. I'm gonna hold them top right.
Top left.
Let's go. Follow
Not me.
Close enough. I do the same thing sometimes.
Sonic is on left-hand door.
Blocked.
This was a dumb Shatter. The reason I did that, and I do have a reason. A lot of times I've noticed, at least in this elo, and I shouldn't take things like this for granted, when a lot of Rhines tend to shatter, they'll kind of like tilt swing. You know what I'm saying? They'll like, oh, it's better start building up for my next one or whatever, try to put damage on me, and then it just leaves their entire team open. So I have been able to take advantage of that in the past, but that was just a bad Shatter overall because it didn't work out the way it happened, the way I wanted to.
Yeah,
Like,
these are like those risky Shatters when you could have just saved it. Once you get in the higher elos, like it's usually not really gonna work out the way it is. So yeah, you I mean, it's up to you. You could do it. I'm gonna say personally, it's not like the best way to go back, because you can like wait, because the Ryan might either go for a pin, you can wait for him to like you can break shield, or he like goes out of the way, because since he's right in front of you, you have to like think like, okay, this guy is gonna be a good Ryan and he's gonna block my Shatter, because that's pretty much like how I always end up like block Shatter, because you just like read the enemy Ryan, you have to wait for him to do something stupid and then you capitalize on him like making a mistake. But him just being right in front of you, you should always like expect him to be smart enough to block it.
Okay. Actually, here's a question. So, how would I play? Say it's mirror like brawl comp. How would I play against a super aggressive team? Like something that's just like literally just hammering my team backwards, like on King's Row, for instance. Because I notice there's so much pressure and I can't really respond to it, or else I just immediately get melted. And,
If
there's a lot
you're
of
saying like
resources.
brawl versus brawl, but you're in the same exact comp.
Yeah, same comp, but it's just like the playstyle, like super aggressive, like swinging, getting bubbled, I'm getting stunned, whatever. Like how would I go about that? Because I feel like if I play like defensive and I hold my shield and just kind of like only swing during my bubbles, I end up just dying really quickly, you know.
Okay. Yo, Piano, thanks for the post, my dude. I'm just doing some VOD reviews right now, so I appreciate it. Okay, so facing against like super aggressive is you're holding like corners more. So if like how they just pushed up, you could have been holding like this corner and like not giving up. Like you backed up and just gave him this opening. So
Okay.
it's like holding the corner. So even on like King's Row, how like they have it's like the statue, and then right behind the statue there's that little like ledge, right? Like right below it's like a door, and there's like a corner. So you can be holding that corner, so you're like LOSing. You can just move, you can just like swing and use that corner as cover, so nothing's gonna hit you except for the Rhine swings on that corner. And then so if they try and like hard aggress into you, then you just like you can call for the bubble, or since that it'd be like close enough, you can just pin the Rhine or whatever, because he's close enough to the statue. You never want to pin towards like the bus going all the way down to their spawn. It's just like those short pins, right? So if you're holding this corner as they're pushing up, you could just pin like the Rhine into this whatever corner if you really wanted to. So you just backed up, gave them space. So on King's Row you might be doing the same thing, where you just be backing up when you can be holding your ground and then expecting your team, because they have to try and push into you and you're pushing into them, right? So if you just hold a line, then it'll force them to do something that they might not want to do, and then their Rhine might be the one that's like hesitant to push forward.
Like their Rhine was just like pinning into my team.
Yeah.
Going back, yeah. I've seen that happen. That makes sense.
Okay. So it's just like holding like a corner, because you can swing through the corners, you can LOS. So it's just holding from like those spots, but then letting your team know hey, this is where I want to hold. So then let like pocket me and be ready to take the fight like at this angle. So you can just like, for instance, like here you can say, hey, we're holding top left, and then as they're like pushing through, like your team knows, so they can be like up here with you, like pressuring out, not just backing up because you back up.
Okay, that's fair.
Locked.
Zarya's
Yikes.
happened back.
Shatter.
A little
Ryan
bit
can
yikes, but it's fixable.
Can we push on this?
Let's get him, let's get him.
Yeah, man. Ryan's one.
Melt them, melt them.
Oh, you would have got the pin too. That would have been.
Yeah, I figured he was low enough I could swing into it. Just like one of those assumption things.
Sonic on left-hand door.
On right. Do him on right. He's looking for a dive.
I think they're going bottom.
Yeah, I hear them. Gonna
Yeah,
pin.
that's a good call by the Hanzo.
Bye.
Fine, that's a
Ready
good
for
pin.
more.
Can we kill
Good fire strike.
Ryan's low, discorded under. I'm gonna retake top right. Retaking top right. Ash is top and right.
I didn't want to chase that though.
No, you would that was
Sonic's
yeah,
going
you
back on
wouldn't.
top left.
Like, okay, so pretty much you did it right by like not engaging. Like their spawn, yeah, like their spawns like so far, like you never especially on like control. This is where a lot of people make mistakes, because it'll like like push up and then you start getting like split out. Like there's no really reason. You can just set up and then have the advantage, like how you're doing here, like always just like holding. Like here, the only time you want to like hard push is if you took the engagement at the top and then you got picks and you push in, get the picks, and then you back freak out. So like just holding like these spots are give you like the most advantage, like going into.
Yeah, that was a
the next
mistake I used
fights.
to make a lot in diamond or like low diamond. It's just like chasing kills, just trying
I'm
to
gonna
get it.
retake top left.
I don't know, probably
I
for
got
the
Shatter for this
medals.
fight. I'm gonna use it.
You know,
Yeah, everyone
the
always
Olympic
just wants to get the
Save
frags,
grab,
and then
save grab.
once you learn like the concepts and everything behind it, it's like, okay,
Sonic's top left. So
let's
we
make
can
sure we
go
have the right
gold
positions
down.
before we take fights, because then you win
They're
way
going
more.
underneath.
Right. They're going right.
Yeah.
Okay, so why would this be a bad shatter?
Did I shatter?
No, why did you
Oh.
like for I'm saying like for you?
because
not even because he
I-
like blocked it, but
because this would be a bad shatter if I was the enemy right in this situation.
no, it's like for your shatter. Why
Right,
is your
we're going
shatter
right.
bad? Like doing like why was this?
Did I jump?
Mm-mm. Well, I got
Right. They're going right.
I think you just like,
Oh. Because the Rhine was holding a shield, I guess. I thought he was in the air long enough for the shatter to connect. That's why that was my opening there. I guess it didn't work out.
you didn't let your team know that you want to look for
Oh.
a shatter. So even if
Oh,
like
okay.
you hit it or something, like your team is not gonna be there to follow up. Like before the fight starts, you should be like, hey, I have shatter, I'm gonna look for a shatter. Or you can be like, okay, let's try and, you know, make a play like with shatter. You can, you know, the Doomfist could like be ready to, you know, knock him up or do something, and you can let your team know, hey, I have shatter, I want to use it, so let's make a play around it.
Okay.
So it's just using it, like, and then hoping like your team is gonna like follow up or be like with you.
Yeah, nah.
It's like not the best, because I think like the other shatter, you didn't call it either, you kind of just used it like reactively. So just letting your team know that like, hey, I have shatter, so I want to use it, so then, you know, they're gonna be ready to follow up, or you can make a play depending on like what like DPS heroes that you have. So you have them McCree, you can do like a flash shatter. You have Doomfist, you can do the punches. You have Brig, you can do the stuns. So there's a bunch of like different things you can do for every, you know, team comp that you have. So just like looking at your team comp and then making the play beforehand with the shatter, so you know it's gonna have way a higher success chance of it working out. Because even if you have to wait, you can tell your team, hey, let's break Rein Shield, so then I can shatter. So then everybody on your team is looking to focus Rein Shield.
Yeah.
Like there might be somebody else, but they're gonna be focusing Rein Shield because I know that's like your win condition. So every fight, like always go in with a win condition, even if it's you looking at somebody else's ults. So if you have like a Grav Hanzo, then you tell your team, okay, we're using Grav Hanzo, and this is how we're gonna win the fight. You know. So then your team's all like ready. And that's just like another aspect of being the team leader. You can tell other people how to use their ults or like what you want used.
Yeah, it's
That
one
makes
of
also
those
you don't
things.
overall.
It's one of those things. I swear up and down I'll do it, but I guess I didn't do it this time. You know, this is where it matters.
Yeah, I mean, you could use it. That's perfectly fine. These are just like the little things that
Yeah.
I'm
No,
saying.
that's. I'm glad you're pointing this out, because if you asked me, did I do these things in this game, I would have told you yes, because I would have assumed I did, and
Yeah.
I'm saying that I'm not doing it, so that means I have to do that more consistently.
I need help.
This was a little
Ran far away
too
from that
far of a
mess.
pin.
I mean, you needed help. You charged out, so I mean, you did what you were trying to
Oh,
do.
Ryan's
But
caught up by himself.
Zarya.
Ready when you are, Zarya. Let's do it.
Yeah, do it now, do it now. Big. Alright, retake.
yeah,
We're on
huge.
right. No,
Massive.
Oh my god, I can't kill him.
Doom low.
And nothing else
GG's.
happens here. The Ryan
Think I
tries to
touch it.
retake, and I just pin him.
Nice job, boys.
That's about it.
So overall, like, not too bad. Okay, so based on this, what do you think was your take? Like, should you be working on, like,
Oh,
from
definitely my communication. In terms of like setting up plays for my team, or
Mhm.
like directing what plays should happen in what circumstances. Another thing that there's a little bit of mechanics in there too with those pins. Yikes, dude! But
that?
the big one, the one that I'm really super concerned about, the one that I wanted to do for these bot reviews in the first place, is definitely my team coordination, communication, like describing to my team and talking to my team with definitely with like ult management and ult. I don't think how many times did I even ult track in this?
You didn't. You didn't do it
Nah,
once.
I didn't. Yeah, so that's another thing. Just like I should be calling out, hey, I know that Ryan has Shatter. I knew in my mind he has
Mhm.
Shatter, but I should be calling out to my teammates so they don't get cut out by the Reinhardt.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't expect them to ult track the Ryan, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, those would be my biggest ones.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much.
Positioning too is a pretty poor in this, especially. It was there with my Winston, but you can notice it with my Ryan. You know, I'm just dropping a point. That's bad positioning. I didn't call it.
It's like positioning, but it also goes into like the pre-fighter, like the planning, like going in, like like the positioning was bad because a result of you didn't go in with a plan. You're kind of just doing everything on the fly, and then like because you could have for all your part like thing being out like the top right. Then it's just like, okay, let's hold this spot. So then you tell your team, let's hold this spot. So your team knows, like, for you, it's like, okay, let's everybody drop the point. So everybody's going to drop the point and not just do it. And then hopefully your team, like, you know, follows up. So it's kind of just goes like hand in hand. So if you just tell yourself, like, okay, hey, we're going to drop the point. And then when you say that, like, over the mic, then everybody knows to, you know, like, follow up. And then in your head, like, okay, cool, everybody's going to be following up. And just, like, saying everything that you're doing is pretty much will just let you know if you're doing, like, something wrong, because then your team will just yell at you, like, no, I can't, like, I'm not there, I'm not close. Yeah. So then it just, you know, alleviates that factor of your team not being able to follow up if you try and do something.
Yeah, that's actually really helpful. Thank you for reviewing this with me. Really,
yeah, no problem.
Do you want a new Nepal, or do you?
We can. No, we can.
I think we did a lot of time on this. If you want to go back to your games.
No, I can do one of the Nepal ones, because you wanted like the Orisa, you said it was.
Yeah, the Orisa,
trouble, right?
Yeah, the Orisa plays really dreadful.
Okay, I think this is there's one. Okay, yeah. So we'll do the Orisa one, and then we can do the Ryan ones like another.
I recall
time.
my Ryan actually being pretty decent here, so I'm not 100% worried about that. It's the Orisa that was while I was playing, I was cringing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm not really doing well here.
She's on left.
Okay. Yeah, because you can do the Ryan another time. I'll just go over and do the Orisa one real quick.
Alright, I have pull 2, 1.
This one. Okay, let me see.
Right.
Okay. Let's get it.
Where do you want to set up? On point directly, or?
Yeah, just go straight to the point.
Alright, let's do it.
That was the context of that is like I was telling him my wrist is not that great.
Go right,
Just
go right,
like,
go right.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Okay. So why is going right? Why you go right instead of left? Like, what's the benefits of going right side?
I'm assuming point control, because if they go to their right, we'll be able to try to get a hook off. But I honestly couldn't tell you. I understand a lot of people do set up on left to win the shield break war, because if you go straight to point, that leaves you vulnerable to getting hooked from either like up in this. Oh, I can't draw.
Oh yeah, I can draw. Get wrecked.
Because if somebody takes position here, they can get hooked from over here or pulled from over here. But
I didn't know you could fucking draw. What the heck?
I hacked you.
Oh, you can do get control. Okay, whatever, dude. I know if people could actually fucking draw.
Yeah, you could. It's the flag on top of the pencil.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool. I didn't know. All right, but yeah. So going as Orisa, I always personally like going right side. I don't like going left. So the reason is when you go left side and you try and win like the shield war or whatever, then your shield breaks and they go to point, let's say. So the point's going to unlock, and then you have to walk across this road to get to point. And then that's when Orisa can just get an easy orb here, and that's when your team starts falling off or you fall up because you're to use your shift afterwards. So that's the reason I don't personally like going left. That's why I never go it. I always go the right side of point.
It'd be fine though setting up your hog by those little doors, right? If you could get a hook on them.
It's better if you tell you and your hog are always in the same place, because if he goes here and tries to go over this side, he can easily get just pulled off. Like whenever I'm playing like Orisa, people waiting like here are like the easiest pull spots off, so you won't get away with it. You should always tell your hog go with you, because when you set up on point and they set up on point, then it's you just getting a pull over the top. And then you can say, hey, Hog, I'm looking for a pull over the top. So if you pull the Orisa, then it forces her to use her shift ability. And then after she uses her shift, then you can either put it in forward shield and use your shift to kill her afterwards it's up. Or if you pull the Hog, then it's easy just, killing the Hog and then, going from there.
Okay. See,
So
I didn't even see. I'm not even thinking if the Orisa pulls me, I should use Fortify. I'm not even thinking that.
Yeah.
That's like how poor my Orisa is.
Yeah, so like every time like you get pulled, that's why as Orisa, there's like a bunch of little things you have to be watching out for, like if Hog used hook, because a lot of the time some of the Hogs will use hook like a couple seconds before they even use a pull. So if you see Hog use hook and then Orisa pulls you over the top, you just have to do like a 180 turn so you're not getting headshot, but then you don't need to waste your fortify. You can save it for something else because there's nothing for them to combo to actually kill you. So you have to be a lot more aware with Orisa because all of her abilities, because she's stationary, you have to use them all with like, you know, a purpose and like, okay, if I'm using this now, then they're going to be able to like, you know, push up on me, or, you know, everything that you use can like hurt you in the end.
Okay, okay.
So we'll see what you do here, but going right side is, you know, always what I would recommend doing. It's like one of like, you know, the best spots, and then you just can set up on like your side. You don't want to push like all the way to like whatever their side, because you want them to be able to push out to get like a hook combo, so you can just wait, you know, like right here, but and then yeah, look for the pull.
Because I think they do run a Lucio.
Hook. I have hook.
Alright,
We're
you
too
ready?
far right here,
Pulling
we're too
up?
far.
Yeah,
I fucked that up. What?
learning throughout this, my pulls are way too far for his hooks to engage. It's like I don't understand Orisa's pulls, because sometimes when I pull, it seems like it should pull them, but it doesn't, or it breaks. I don't understand how her pull theory works.
Yeah. Okay. So like the first thing is, yeah, judging like an easy way to get used to like the pull distances. You can actually go to the training range and then just practice pulling, you know, the bots. Actually, I can just show that afterwards. Whatever. I'll do that afterwards to show you that, because it's easier to show that than like explain it. So we'll just do this, and then I'll show you like the exercise, whatever that can help doing like the Orisa pull stuff.
Hell yeah, man.
But yeah, so with like this first thing that you did, you're trying. You can shoot the orb here, but since your thing's pulled, like it's way too far of a hook. Like you don't need to always. You could have like, since they're over on, if they're starting on this spot, you know they have to push the point. So then you can save your orb to when they're walking across, because they have to try and contest point. So you want to just save it unless they're really far pushed up, because right now you have your shield too far back to even warrant getting a hook, because now your Hog has to push up in front of your shield. You never really want to have your Hog have to push up in front of your shield to get the hook, because then it puts him in a spot to get hooked. So
here, should I just be doing shield break?
Yeah, just do that. Just doing shield break, since your shield's not far enough. Like if you would have saw they were going this way, then you could have put your shield up a little bit closer here, so then your Hog could be in position. But since you started back, it'd be like, okay, my shield's too far back. We're not gonna be able to get a hook because like Hog's hook range isn't as far. So I'm just gonna focus down the shield, and then I know that they have to push across here now to get to point. So I can just break shield and then pull whoever touches point. Because if Orisa doesn't use her shift, you can pull her off. If she does use her shift, then you can just hard push into her and then use your shift afterwards, and then you win that 1v1 100% of the time because of the damage reduction.
Alright.
So it's just like those like little things, like, okay, looking at like, you know, where they're positioned, and then making that split decision if like what you should be doing. But those are like the situations, if they set up here, that you should look for.
Okay.
Up. I fucked that up. What? What? We shouldn't be engaging that much. Alright, I have
remember
pull
this
two,
Sonic is
1, 2, pulling up.
very eccentric.
My dude legit randomly just fucking shot into
Okay, that was the decent, like your Hog could have
Hog
hooked,
on
but
left,
he
Hog
just
and Hanzo
missed
on
it,
left.
unfortunately.
I
Shit
have.
happens, you know.
There's a Reaper here.
Dead.
Okay. What ability did you forget about?
Fortify.
Yeah.
I assumed
have-
my auto would heal me. I
Reaper.
forgot that she died earlier on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So whenever you like whatever take a lot of damage, you know, you can just
I think
press
he's-
it.
I think he was trying to make a J. Jonak play or something. Where was he, like up front?
He died really early. Like he died
Yeah.
at least like 10 seconds ago.
Unlucky.
Yeah, he died right, like pretty much like right at the
Legit
start.
randomly just fucking shot into the
So that's just like another thing, like just be aware,
Hog on
like
left, Hog and
be
Hanzo
paying
on
attention
left.
to your
I
honor that
have-
they was dead. So
Reaper here.
you might have to like either use your like shift or something, or be ready to do like a hard engage.
I think we hard lose this too.
I think we lost that fight.
This isn't
You
like
guys wanna-
even remotely close.
Well, that's why there's just way
they're
more
gonna have
things
a
to
lot more shield
point out and
so
then
we
help
gotta,
you out
like-
then.
Here, I know it's a bad play. I shouldn't be pushing up at this at all. I was surprised how fast. Here,
Just poke. Just poke.
we'll see.
just
I
poke,
think
Just poke. No,
it's
no.
either
I
here
have
or
a
it's
main
in the
healer.
next fight.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Don't.
Okay. This orb.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know where that went.
You think the orb pulls this high?
No, probably not.
He's trying to go for some like full on Kobe for like supercharged like orbs like so this will that's why whatever, I'll show you the other thing to try and like help you out, like practice doing like the orb pull so you know like the distance. But like eventually you don't, like once you figure out like how far the orbs pull, then you only pull to those spots, and then if somebody's like not there or if they're too close to the wall, like you don't, like you just, you know, let it go or whatever, because like doing stuff like this, it's not gonna hit anything. Yeah, it's just a waste of pull. Now you have to wait, and then because now you have to wait for your shield cooldown that's almost up, but now you don't have orb, so there's no point in you going down here because you can't even get a combo anyway, so you have to wait for another whole, you know, set of cooldowns.
I know.
I think
that's
we
what
do
I'm saying.
push
Don't poke.
because
We can go underneath.
Yeah, so now you're just wasting your whatever shield health before you
Under.
drop.
Hogs here. So is Reaper. Nice. Oh, fuck.
There.
Good.
Just
Yeah,
gotta
check
keep-
out
Hog,
Lucia though.
hog.
Reaper,
Hog on
Reaper
site.
up here. Reaper, snipe. Hey. Where? Never mind, I'll kill myself.
Alright.
Making this on him, dude.
He's got the juice, man. Super juice.
So I guess when I pull, I'm gonna pull like a directional, not straight up. I'll let you know.
Yeah,
when
they're
I'm
just too high. They're too.
Okay, what should you be doing right now? As Orisa.
No clue.
Double shield.
Oh, like shoot it up in the air.
Do it straight up in the air.
Okay.
Because now that you have point control, and they have the Orisa, this is where the double shield lets you pretty much. This is why once you win point control, it's really hard to take it back as like Orisa versus Orisa, because now you can have the first shield, and then right when you see them coming through the choke point, like whatever walking through, then you throw your the shield right up in the air, because now by the time they come out and start damaging your shield, when it gets low, the next one's gonna drop, and then you're essentially gonna have 3 shields to their 1. And then now that they can't, there's no way for them to actually push through unless they use a ton of ults. So you should, after you do it, since you know they have the Orisa, you can angle your shield a little bit better. Like you can put it like right here so it's coned like this, and then you just throw your walk right in the front of like the middle of the shield, and then just shoot your shield straight up. And then remember to do like the bunny hop with your jump, because when you jump it gives you more distance, so it takes longer to drop down, so that means your shield gets, you know, a lot more time out.
Like,
you just press like just jump when you jump straight up in the air, and then just shoot it at like the highest point of your jump, and it gives you like an extra like 1 or 2 seconds of shield, and then it's already went on cooldown, so it's like just free recharge time.
Okay. Because I'm glad you're telling me these things, because Orisa is by far my least play tank out of any of the tanks, and I'm a main tank player. It's just
there's only like those like certain maps that she's good at, but then if you know how to play Orisa on these certain maps, you're pretty much guaranteed you're gonna win, because not a lot of people know how to play her.
Like my buddy Cluck was telling me like, yo, Orisa's super good, and I was in denial. I thought Orisa was just absolute trash. And he's like, dude, you don't understand, like pull is one of the strongest abilities in the game. And he explained it to me, and I'm like, oh shit, I should probably start learning Orisa. And here I am at Masters, like, well, I don't know how to play Orisa at Masters. So I better learn.
Unlucky. Okay, pulling Hanzo now.
No, that's too far. Shield.
That wasn't actually too bad. Like if your hog could have whatever pushed up and like whatever got there, because you said where you were gonna hook, so he could have done that, so it's not too bad. I wouldn't say that's like too bad of a pull or anything on your part for that.
Okay, pulling Hanzo now.
No, that's too far. That's too far. Shield, shield.
Reaper behind. Oh.
Oh, we gotta know that's
Yeah,
gonna
they just
happen.
used a bunch of ults. But that's where like the double shield would have helped you because your shield broke like super fast, and then you pretty much probably could have negated like a bunch of whatever that damage if you would have been having the double shields.
Guys need to stop dying.
Oh, it's right here where I just get actually deleted.
Yeah. As your, I don't know if your hog's dead or his hog's with you, because you know they're super close. So what if they're playing this, yeah, your hog is with you. So right now you just shot, you shoot your orb right here, like right, you shoot it above, like, you know, like right above their shield, because right now you're pretty much just shooting their shield, but you don't use your orb because you have your shield to protect your hog while he's pushing up to get the pull. So since you're on like the defense going on the offense, you can get the hook first. So it's like, hey, I'm shooting an orb like above his shield, and then your hawk can get this hook, whoever's, you know, around here, like super easily, because waiting for your shield to break and then doing the orb, it's not going to do anything, because now you're putting yourself in a position to take all this damage out and getting wrecked.
Okay.
Oh,
It
wow.
broke?
I don't know.
Yeah,
They have a lot of shield break compared to us.
No. My hook broke.
Oh, unlucky. Alright, we can go in a Bongo's hoggle. We have a lot of ults here. Let's just...
Yeah, that's good. So trying to set up a play.
Yep.
That's fine.
We're going in. Bongos now. Pulling.
God, flipping hooked.
Yeah, and they just have a bunch
Yeah,
of.
this was just unlucky. I ended up pulling it in the Reaper ults.
Yeah, they had a lot of
And
ults.
we wasted all of them. Got no value. Unlucky. Although I just said...
Try
You like that though?
Ryan's
I just called for a Bongo's hog and we used everything.
I'm gonna have
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
summon touches. I'm going Winston.
So do you know how to play Hammond or no?
I'm learning. I have I don't want to say throw account. It's a trash account in Plat that I try learning new heroes on. So like I get the idea of Hammond.
Okay.
What I'm working on right now is his movement, because it's really different. So I'm trying to like figure out the best places to be hooking on maps for specifically like dives or like ways to encounter the enemy. I understand how to play him. I'm just not good at it. You know what I'm saying? Like Orisa, I have no idea how to play really.
Okay.
Hammond, I have an idea.
Okay. Yeah, because, okay, so if on the Orisa comp, if you having a hard time, you just can't, like, reset momentum to, like, try and, like, focus in. Hammond's a little bit better than the Monkey just because you can do your, like, rubber power drive, and then you have your shield, like, the extra, like, bonus shield, since they're going to be playing really close behind the shield, and then you can try and, like, knock people, like, whatever, into like, the pit and stuff, because you can go from, like, you can roll around, or you can go from, like, the top, and then, you know, try and knock people out into the open or something like that. So you can do either Hammond or Monkey, but Hammond's a little bit better against the Orisa comps on this map, at least.
All right.
Just because of, like, the spots of where everybody's holding, everyone's super clumped, you're gonna have like a giant shield and there's no way they can kill you through it before you get out.
No.
Oh shit, what the heck?
Oh, yeah, this actually happened in game too. That wasn't part of the video.
Oh,
That
okay.
happened just unlucky.
I was just like, wait, what?
I'm like, oh, I'm dead.
Unlucky.
Then on the next map, we run brawl
I don't think it was...
and we win. But
Brings one. I think I can kill.
Maybe just bad positioning and not enough damage.
That's not too bad.
Like,
But yeah, I can go over like the Rhine stuff on another day.
well, let me with all this brand new brain food,
Yeah.
I'll record another VOD and see how that goes. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah, that works. Yeah, we can do
Awesome.
that.
Thank
So
you so much.
okay,
man.
before you go, what do you need to work on with Orisa? What are the
I gotta learn her pulls, man. I also gotta
Okay.
I gotta be aware of the enemy a little bit more so I can set up those triple shields. You know. Um, I understand. Like I'm not reloading every 5 seconds as much as you know. Like I understand that's kind of a new mistake I hear that a lot of new Orisas make. So I try not to just reload every.
Yeah, I just like
reload
reloading
with-
whenever, I don't know, there's
Yeah.
times when the people are backing out or something like that. This time.
Coordinating shield positioning is a pretty big one. Understanding where my pulls are going, remembering that I have fortify.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I think.
yeah, that's pretty much like the main things. Because like doing like the pull combos and like knowing like when to do it is really huge. And then also using your shift. So every time like your shield breaks, you can use your shift, and then you can be taking a lot of damage, and then you don't have to use like your next shield till like your shift almost goes all the way on cooldown. So you can like try and space out like when you're using an ability to like maximize like the most value you get out of it.
Okay.
That's like a little bit like more advanced, and it's all dependent on how much damage the enemy team has, like if your healers are with you and stuff. But that's something to like think about. If your shield goes down and you have your shift up and your healers are with you, then you might just be able to use your shift and just like 80 strafe, like, you know, doing something, and then wait till your shift is about to run out and then put your shield. So you don't have to put your shield right away if you still have like half of your like gold form left, you know.
Okay. Awesome.
That's just there's something to think about.
Thank you very, very much, Ace. I really appreciate it, my man.
Yeah, no problem.